Two of Florida's finest folk artists are about to entertain you. And I know you've heard of the Thomases, and ordinarily they're introduced as Frank and Ann Thomas, but I want to tell you, Ann Thomas is every bit as creative as Frank Thomas, because she writes a lot of their songs. So therefore, I'm going to introduce Ann and Frank Thomas.
Yeah! You see how smart she is? It takes most people 5 or 10 times for them to figure that out. Oh, is that it?
You never could possess the world of things we associate with fame. Future generations will remember his name. They'll sing his Florida songs and wonder who was his man. Name Will McLean, who wrote about his love of the Florida sand. Will was a restless soul, never in one place long. From Key West to Pensacola, always singing a Florida song. He'd heard the legends of Florida lore on his grandpa's knee. And like the honking geese in a frozen sky, he knew he had to see. Where old Bloodsport was blown apart by a red-hot cannonball in a ghostly swamp called Tate's Hell, he heard a panther squall. He saw beaches littered with dead fish, the victims of red tide, and a lonely place on the 14 road where Major Dave died. So with his guitar and a fishing pole and a rusty Model A Ford, he explored the land the Spaniard once ruled with a cross and sword. He walked the woods where Gopher John's cries for peace had failed. He saw a dungeon in St. Augustine where Osceola had been jailed. He followed the pure, clear water from beautiful Silver Spring down the Ocklawaha, so mysterious and serene. He saw the big scrub where black bear and panther still roam free. A wild hog and gulf hound and a biblical gopher wood tree. The legendary Everglades, home of the Seminole. Lake Okeechobee where a hurricane taking a dreadful toll. The trails of Acrefoot Johnson, the chain gang's hardened men. The electric chair where a man once vowed to never sit again. Conch Island where the green turtle laid her eggs in the sand. The gentle ocean breezes cool this flowered land. The stillness of Payne's Prairie, the dancing sandhill grain. Far away, a crying bird was calling his name. And the Florida he loved was slipping away. He could see more people moving in with each passing day. People who thought wildlife was a nuisance, not a friend. And the cracker, a subhuman fool who never would fit in. So he began to write the songs, those haunting melodies, woven around the words that told of Florida's history. He gave his heart and soul to the wildlife's crying lament. He mourned as the wilderness disappeared, lost to development. As the years went by, the pages filled with songs and poetry, written by a man who lived in poverty. But he was quick to say his songs were not for monetary gain. They were a gift to Florida with love from Will McLean. He inspired generations to write Florida songs. He nurtured us with love. He chastised when we were wrong. speaking in his gentle voice so resonant and deep, warning it would soon be time to go to his final sleep. And the crying birds and the hawking geese kept calling him, come fly away, away up through the Florida sky. His soul took wing and he bid farewell to his mortal friends. He said, I'll be somewhere in Florida in the wind. On the wings of a hawk flies the soul of a man who wrote about his love of the Florida sand. He will always be somewhere in Florida in the wind, and the tall McClenny pines will be keen in the name of Florida's black cat troubadour, Will McLean. Thank you very much. Will and I always talked about co-writing together, and I guess maybe we did on that one. A lot of Will wrote that more or less himself. We're going to do a couple of songs that we wrote that Will was partial to. This one Ann wrote, and that's how this Ann and Frank business got started. Will said it shouldn't no longer be Frank and Ann Thomas, it should be Ann and Frank Thomas. For 2 years Seminole and Miccosukee had retreated from the white men to the shores of Okeechobee. Now after the winter solstice, Sam Jones and Alligator planned to battle with the firebrand Coacoochee. On the north shore of Big Water, Lake Okeechobee to the marsh where the white man ever went. There they planned the strategies of the land's rightful denizens against invaders whom the government sent. They cut trails to a hamlet, surrounded on all sides by danger. They prepared to make a stand. Cut sawgrass over sea, not streets of steady firearms, waiting for the soldiers to invade their land. And the white man said Sam Jones of rock that was just a crazy old Indian, but his medicine was the strongest of all men. He made some warriors invisible and others invulnerable to the bullets that the white man sent. Alligator was a strategist who led 300 warriors, united them and led them to the fray. When Taylor's 800 regulars and Gentry's 100 volunteers engaged them on that fateful Christmas day, Zachary Taylor sent the volunteers ahead to take the worst of the Seminole and the Miccosukee Lake. Gentry with his sword in hand let his men fell when wounded rose again and led him onward as he fled. Shot again, Gentry fell to cry, charge on the Missourians, through fire and flowing from their back. Crying, bleeding, dying, they stained the foreign water, but pressed on, they'd come so far to fight with Zach. And the white man said Sam Jones of rock that was just a crazy old Indian, but his medicine was the strongest of all men. He made some warriors invisible and others invulnerable to the bullets that the white man sent. The battle nearly over, Zachary Taylor sent the regulars, and the Indians were frantic, so hard pressed. Foe to north, lake to south, they must break through to Hungry Land, couldn't dare his hamlet to the west. 112 soldiers were wounded in the battle, 27 bled to death there on that day. Zachary Taylor ever after would be called all rough and ready, and boasted that the battle went his way. But the warriors had rejoined their wives and children in the scrub when the smoke had cleared free by that retreat. To fight another time, they only left 10 dead that day. They knew they'd earned a victory, not defeat. And it's the cries of Go-Coochie confused with the wind. The night birds are coming of the rain. They call across more than a century to celebrate that victory on the shores of Okeechobee once again. On the shores of Okeechobee once again. His beard may be stubble like a cut over sugar cane field. His clothes may be dirty, but the look in his eyes lets you know he won't yield. He's from a breed that has died. He has survived in the world he once knew is gone. He's an old cracker cowman existing a long way from home. And dirt bikes scream over land that used to be scrub cow trail. And interstate highways taking the place of old Mr. Flagler's rail. And condos rise from the land and space shuttles fly. And the old cracker cowman don't know how it all passed him by. Old Bone Mizell, he's gone, but the legend lives on. Jake Summerlin and old Sam Keene, beginning and the ending of an era now gone. And men like Doc Norman somehow let the bottle get them down. These old Florida cowboys are like eagles tied to the ground. And dirt bikes scream over land that used to be scrub cow trail. And interstate highways have taken the place of old Mr. Flagler's rail. And condos rise from the land and space shuttles fly. And the old cracker cowman don't know how it all passed him by. Thank you very much. You about ready back here, Don? As I dream tonight of my home in Florida, I know my family misses me. As this train bolts along through the hills of Virginia, it's those flat woods of home I long to see. I can still smell the smoke of battle, and I know we fought a good fight in a place called Cold Harbor, Virginia, where many good men gave their lives. I guess for me this war is over. A Yankee mini ball sent me home. Lord, I miss my wife and family. It seems like years that I've been gone. As I dream tonight of my home in Florida, I know my family misses me. As this train bolts along through the hills of Virginia, it's those flat woods of home I long to see. Our great-granddaddy, William Thomas, was one of the many wounded Confederate soldiers on the train headed home. But he never made it. He developed lockjaw and died on the train. But he left a legacy that will live on in the hearts and in the minds of those who remember the Confederate soldier, and in the descendants of his children, many that still live in his Florida home. As I dream tonight of my home in Florida, I know my family misses me. As this train boats along through the hills of Virginia, it's those flat woods of home I long to see. It's those flat woods of home I